Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Lilu Nishma Simi Mirosi Ruspas Mordechai. Today is Daf Mem Zayin. We're starting from the bottom of Amud Beis. A couple more pictures, still in Ben Azmana mode. So here we go. All pictures that I took myself. I thought this was a cool one. The elephant saying Shalom Aleichem to each other. This is Reb Hillel Kamiansky in the dentist chair, learning the Daf. And this, Rabbi Isai, if you live in the Flatbush Bar Park area, the Olam in Flatbush gets together every Motzei Shabbos in the Varchim, I believe. So here they are, a nice volume. Good morning,
Never gets old. Never gets old.
Not for me. Adults, Africans, it's kids. By Chaim Halter, Mordechai Groska finding time while running a special needs camp to do the daf. He always finds time to do the daf while running a special needs camp. You're going to see the counselors. We have a picture of the counselors. Here they are. They're all wearing MDY shirts. These counselors have spent the last 2 weeks looking after special needs children in Camp Horizon, UK. Just like Rebelli, they also went on a safari park. They work extremely hard day and night, but this year they've got the extra boost of energy due to their beautiful t-shirts advertising MDY. It's beautiful. Unbelievable. Gave me chizik talk of this picture. This is from Yosef Finkelberg, since Kesubos Daf Beis. Hope you're well, enjoying the Daf every day. Thanks so much. Vacations used to be no learning. That's how it is a lot of times. Vacations used to be no learning. And now, it's amazing. It's all about the Yomi sharing a picture. I want to share with you a segula we use when traveling to get safe. Everybody has a segula. In every bag, you put his name, Harav Levi Yitzchak, Ben Sara Sasha. It has always worked. Be'ezras Hashem. No, he says you don't need those. We had issues with, by the way, it's a good thing. I'll tell you what happened. I don't know if I said. So we bought those iPhone tags, whatever, the Air tags, the Apple Air tags. We put it in every single suitcase and bag. Before we got off the plane in Africa, we already knew that my bag was still in Eretz Yisrael. So it was good. We didn't have to wait around. I saw a bunch of from Yidden. One guy was missing 7 bags. I went over and I said, listen, your bags are in Eretz Yisrael. How do you know? It's next to mine, trust me. 2-3 days later, but when we got to Eretz Yisrael, it said that our bags are still in Africa. But then it updated. So it's like, okay, so maybe you shouldn't trust those ear tags 100%. Shalom Aleichem, what's your name?
Johnny Goodman.
From?
Manchester.
Wow, what's going on with these Manchester Chevra? Johnny Goodman.
And my son at the back, Yosef Goodman.
That's a good one, all the way in the corner. That's where the Hasidim usually sit. Here we are. What's Shalom Aleichem? What's your names? Rab? From? Bar Park. Brother? Friends. What's your name? Shia Bindiger. From? Also Bar Park. What are you doing here in Israel? Stop, Ben Azmanim. Gewaldige stuff. Kirik Tzadikim. Gewaldig.
So the dead.
I don't.
It's the alive one.
We're going to miss Avi. He's leaving for a week, Rabbi said, to Switzerland. So it's going to miss him. Moshe Hecht. I don't endorse this, but it reminded me of one of the Rosh Yeshivas, I don't remember what it was, Rav Shach. Somebody said, to me, Gan Eden is sitting with a stender and a Gemara and a cigarette. So over here you have the Olam is very into this. I don't understand it 100%. And he has his radio and his cufflinks and his monogrammed whatever. Okay, the ganze Meise. Moshe Hecht, Yishkoyach, does the daf with us. Story of an 11-year-old follower. Shalom Aleichem. Rebel, it's been a year since my last email. Baruch Hashem, back when I started Psachim, Daf, Chavav, emails read loud were easier to come by. I've had my share. Recently, my 11-year-old Yedidya Nathanson, his son Yedidya, was asked by his camp Rebbe, does anyone here know what Daf Yomi is? He quickly shot up his hand in excitement. Daf Yomi is when you follow a Rebbe on YouTube and then celebrate by making a huge siyum in person when you finish a Masechta. I guess he's kind of right. Baruch Hashem, since Avram Meir Farkowitz and Biyam Schwartz got me hooked, MDY changed my life trajectory in Torah learning and Yiras Hashem. Shkoyach and keep up the holy work. Sincerely, Jay Nathanson, Woodmere, New York. Rabbi Isai, this month's sponsor of the Koilo, $10,000 anonymously, in zchus of all the new people that joined, including that guy that said Kesubos Daf Beis. Who was that? One of the emails. Should we go back over there? Let's go back. We're going back. We can read the whole thing for you, John. Hold on. Yosef Finkelberg, in his zchus. Okay, now we can do it. The second Koilo sponsor, also somebody that's not going to be here for like 2 weeks. Avi and Rachel Kamiansky, in memory of Rachel's mother. Reza Gittel Bas Esther. Rita should have be Melitza Yashara or Melitza Yosher on behalf of us and our children. Uba Hashemesh v'zorach Hashemesh. Last night, Mando, adios, left. Now, I don't want to be this tough guy, Kilo, it doesn't bother me. It does bother me a little bit. We got a little connected. But that same time, he was gone. My neighbor underneath me, Dr. Epstein, got the dog. His Einiklach went on a trip and they dumped the dog on him. Okay, these guys from Borough Park, I have no idea what I'm talking about. It's one of these creatures that when it walks in the street and a front person sees it, they jump to the other side. But it's this small. I'm talking about this. The Masech responsibility Baruch Ben Moshe Aaron Moshe Elazar Ben Nata Shalom hatzlacha for my children Yishkoich Molandi. The Parnas Masechta Jeff Rosner in zchus my son Yosef Simcha Chaim Ben Sara Klein Refuah Shlaima. And by the Lock and Lebovic family is Lakewood New Jersey because Torah is the best segula. You see, it's Mamash Ben Azmanim. Avi's gone. Noam is in Romania with his family. Nachman Seltzer, who knows? He'll show up in a few days. What? Mendy just came back from South Africa. He sits over here. Yeah, the island is on a break. Getting ready for Elul. By the Lock and Lebovic family, Lakewood New Jersey, because Torah is the best segula. He's not here today. What happened to Benny? He usually screams out Torah is the best segula. And Lili Nishma Zechariah Ben Moshe. Parasach Chodesh number 3, Benjy Estie Israel Family, memory of our Zayde Moshe Menora and 3 cousins, Sara Klein, Ricki Racheli Menora on the 12th yard side. The Neshama should all have an aliyah. The Parasach Chodesh number 4, Dr. Avrum Epstein. In memory of my precious Southern Belle, wife, mother and grandmother, Rita Gay Epstein. Did you watch those shiurim that I gave in South Africa?
Sure.
And you saw me choking up? Baruch Hashem, I do a little bit, but it's not noticeable anymore. Michael Ben Mela, Motty Perl Aaron Hirsch, to be zchus to make it to Uman Rosh this year. Okay, Rabbi Isai, very simple daf today, Be'emes. Rosh Koilo told me yesterday, he says, okay, we got through a hard daf, it was Memhei, I think it was. Till Ayin Ches is simple. I'm taking his word for it. It's a brand new parak over there. It's only 5 dafim long, yeah? Mamash simple, you said. Okay, I'm taking your word for it. Today, you were right. Yesterday also. Okay. A few limudim, things, but nothing serious. Says the Gemara, 2 lines down from the bottom. Shtar Bio. The Mishnah says that a father is zakai. He's entitled to the kesef, kiddushin, the shtar, the bia, deciding who she marries. Min Alon, how do we know this? Omakro, v'hoiso leish acher. She becomes a wife to somebody else, to another man, but it is one v'hoisa. It's one parasha. All the ways of becoming a wife are one v'hoisa. Iskush havayis la'adadi. So just like we know kesef kiddushin the father gets, so too the shtar bia. Next sugya zaka b'mitziasa, and if she finds something, it goes to the father. Why mishum eva? Because of animosity. He's going to say to the father, it's not right. I support. She finally makes something I'm not entitled to it. He'll stop supporting her. It'll be a whole thing. So Chacham Rasakin that he gets her mitzvah. How do you know that he gets her salary as well? And we had this yesterday. How do we know? A father could sell his daughter as an amma. Just like her handiwork go to her master. Maybe, okay, it's contingent on the fact that he could sell her, but he cannot sell his older daughter, a naira. She's already 12 with simonim, he can't sell her. How do you know you can't sell? I'm thinking out loud. How do you know you can't sell? Even if she was sold, she goes out. Perhaps since he can't sell her, so she gets to keep her Ma'aseh Yadayim. Says the Gemara, I'll tell you, it makes sense that it goes to the father. So Gemara says a very interesting svara. You see, it says in the pasuk, as biti nosati loish hazel liisha, that was in the parasha of Motty Shem. So you see that the father is entitled to give his daughter over for l'chuppah. We're talking about l'chuppah here because the Gemara says, a beautiful svara, hechi matzi masarla. She is a top attorney. She's in the middle of a trial. He could pull her out of the trial and marry her off. He has the right to marry off. So if he has the right to stop her Ma'aseh Yadayim, you see that he's entitled to the Ma'aseh Yadayim. If he wasn't entitled to the Ma'aseh Yadayim, then how in the world could he bring her to a chuppah? Now, to be Makabel Kiddushin, you don't need her, she could continue doing her trial. But to tell her, you get up and come to a wedding, I made a whole wedding for you, you have to waste now 5 hours of your time while she's charging $500 an hour, he could do that. But the fact that he could pull her out and bring her to a wedding, to a chuppah, is a raya that he's entitled to her Ma'aseh Yadayim. So Rav Chaim has to have this question. Who said that it was in the middle of a trial? Maybe it's 11 o'clock at night, she's not working anyways, and that's when he's entitled. Or maybe it's in the middle of the day, so Yitaka has to pay her the few $1,000s she's going to make during the trial, but he still gets the ring, the diamond. Inami, the masala b'shabbasos, v'yamim toivim. He married her off on Shabbos and Yontif. Says Tosfos, the masala b'shabbasos v'yamtiv. You should be joyful, you should be happy with Yontif, but not with your wife. In other words, it's also to marry someone in Chol HaMoed because you're mixing two smachas together. Says Tosfos with Rosh Gemurahi. This is a doiraisa. This is a doiraisa problem. Not like, some sort of vart I saw in a sefer. No, it's usher to mix the two simchas together. You have to focus completely on Yontif. Says Tosfos Zikil Meimar Doch Irish Sho Achas Lefnei Yontif Shuki Yontif Linyan Melacha the Tosefes Deraisa. So there's a concept of Tosefes Shabbos and Yontif. Not a lot of people know it, but when we learned the sugyas there, right? Because again, I was back in America and I saw people flying to shul, 20 seconds before Shkia in their cars. This is Shkia yet, Shkia. Yeah, but forget about Shkia. There's an Indian of Tosefes. You have to add minutes or minute. You can't just wait until the last millisecond. Okay, and that's a deiraisa. So during that extra hour where she can't work anyway, that's where he married her off. So there's a few things going on here. So first of all, you see that this concept of Tosefes Yontif and Shabbos is also for women. It's not just for men. It's a chiyuv for women. Otherwise, she would be working in the law firm. She should still be working. Okay, it's a chiyuv for her also. Rashi says over here that she's usher to do malacha the day of her chasana. Stamazai, throwing it out. That whole day, because we spoke about this Isser Malacha when we were learning about Avelos, and there's Isser Malacha for the husband, Isser Malacha for her as well. However, you see from here that there's no din of Simchas Yontif during the Tosefes Yontif. That hour, okay, the hour before Yontif, you're mechuyev to, let's say it's an hour, you have to stop working then. You added it to your Yontif. You added an extra hour, you want to be a chassid, instead of doing 2 minutes, you did a full hour. Okay, and during that full hour, she got married. But how are you allowed to get married during that hour? Simcha b'simcha. it's only an hour of Isser Melacha, but not an hour of Simchas Yantiv. There's no Simchas Yantiv in there. And that's why you could get married there. So there's a lot of interesting things going on in this one line here. Okay. So it doesn't mean mamish, according to this, it doesn't mean he married her on Shabbos, on Yantiv. It means right before. There's even is to get married on Chol Hamoed. So we have to go back a little bit. The Gemara said that the pasuk ve'ema hanami liktana. How do you know that the pasuk that tells us that the father gets the kiddushin, the ma'aseh yadel? How do you know it's talking about a naira? Maybe it's only talking about a ktana. Says the Gemara, it cannot be talking about a ktana, and therefore it must be talking about a naira. If a father could sell off his daughter, literally sell her, so of course he could take her ma'aseh yadayim, that's a svara. So therefore, the pasuk is completely not necessary to say that he gets the ma'aseh yadayim. So you don't need it for the ktana. So if you don't need it at all, so you have a whole extra pasuk. So I'm going to use that pasuk for the naira, the older girl, that he gets the ma'aseh yadayim. Right? He cannot sell a naira, but he gets the ma'aseh yadayim. New sugya. If you just walked in now, starting a new mesechta. A father he has the right to break her neder. She makes a neder. She says she's going to do a certain thing. She's going to be mekanis. He could break it. He can be made for it. Minalan. Dichsiv bin Re'ah Beisavia. We had the psukim yesterday. The whole parsha. You don't even need these two psukim, but in the psukim you see it's talking about b'sham avias nidra. Even the following pasuk says he could be made for it. All the way at the end of the parasha, whole parasha of Nedarim, Binurel, when she's a Nara Beisavia. So you see that a father could be made for a neder of a naira, even a naira. Umekabel is gita, and he can receive a get. What kind of get? We said already, she's only an arusa, not an asua, because once she's an asua, she leaves his rishus completely. She's still an arusa, he takes the get for her. Minolan. D'chsiv v'yotza v'hoisa iskush yitzil avaya. Let's see this pasuk a second. V'yotza mebeisoi v'holcha v'hoisa l'shachet. So the word yitzia and hoisa are all in the same pasuk. So it's a hekesh. And we say that one is similar to the other. So just like we learned that a father, the v'hoisa, he receives the kiddushin. That's one of the things he could do. You have to put the ring in his hand. You have to put the shtar in his hand. So Mela, by the Yitzia also, when she leaves him, if they get divorced, you put the get in his hand. That's how she gets divorced. Okay? I'm thinking here that unfortunately in our society, in our day and time, it's a very messy thing usually, this divorce thing. You have to make a hekesh. Just like when you get married, everybody's happy and geschmack, so too when you get divorced. It shouldn't be this World War III thing where nobody, no, you can't see the kids, you're a terrible father, and on this, and we're going to fight over that, and I want $100,000 in order to divorce you. It should be normal, no? That's the happiness. Very good. Very good. Okay, some people have anah from that, you're saying. You shouldn't take away the anah. All right, I take it back. Fight as much, if it makes you happy, fight. Okay. Chas v'shalom. Okay. Says Gemara, the father has no right to take from her peiros. What peiros? For instance, if she inherited a nursing home, he's not entitled to any of the money. As long as she's alive. Once she dies, the father inherits the whole thing.
Who she inherited from is not her father.
Mother. She got a nursing home from her mother. Torah Rabbana. Ho'av einoi oichel peiros b'chayu bitoy. Could the father eat the produce, the peiros of whatever the daughter has? What's the machlokes? Tanakama sovar b'shloim about the kinulei rabbonim peirei. We're coming upon a line that needs a tremendous amount of explanation. It's very hard to even read this line, but we're getting there. A baal, a husband, and yesterday when I even said this line, people were snickering and laughing. The reason why they gave the husband the produce, he could get the benefit of the nursing home. Dimkain mimna v'lo parik. If you're not going to give it to him, and they capture his wife, no, let her stay there. Let the goyim violate her. Let her. Who cares? But if you give him the pay rise, then you make him you mechayev him. You say, listen, you're going to take benefit, but if it ever happens, you mechayev to redeem her. Now, what's going on here is, you don't put the money on the side and say, okay, let's make a pile of her payros. Any income that comes in from the nursing home, let's put away in the bank. In case one day she gets captured, we'll have enough money to pay the ransom. No. Why? Because if you're not going to give it to the husband, then he's also going to be mad. And let's say that they demand a crazy amount. They demand $2 million. In the bank account, there's only $1 million. So he said, I'm not going to pay for my money. I never benefited from her. Why should I pay for her? Let her stay there. Okay? Hard thing to swallow. But what's harder is what's coming up now. Eloav, Michael Meimar. A father has rachmanas on his daughter. He's always going to redeem his daughter. The mimna v'loy parik, v'lavachi parikla. Without him getting Paris, he's going to redeem her. It's his daughter. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda Sovar, Avnami mimna v'loy parik. I can't even read it. There's a situation where a father says, let my daughter sit and rot there by the goyim that captured her. Sovar, kiso nikita lava, teizav tifrik nafsho. You know, she was an actress, whatever. She was making millions of dollars. She never gave me a dime. Today, Shalom Aleichem, she needs my help. No, let her sit there. Let her be. It's hard to understand. But then I started thinking about it, and I was like, people in the greatest relationships, brothers that loved each other the entire life, over a little Yerusha, they fight like they don't talk to each other. It's Ma'aseh Shebachal Yoyim. Money causes the worst of the worst. You have a father. The Gemara says it. There's a man that says it. Not everybody holds like this. It says that even a father, if something happened in a monetary thing with his daughter, he got into some sort of, he had bad feelings towards her. She never helped him out. She was doing well. She's mamish, top of the world. And he always said, hey, get out of here. And now all of a sudden you need money? No, I'm not going to help you out. There's such a thing. Unbelievable. Money. What money does. Savar kisa nikita lava, ilava. She has a whole pocket full of money. And Memela, let her take care of herself. Nises, Yosef, okay, again a new sugya. I'm telling you, it's easy stuff. Once she gets married, now the husband has one up, or whatever you want to call it, up on the father. He eats the peiros, etc. Toner Rabbanan. Chasav lo peiros zchus v'kelim shivoy ima. So you have to write, if you have a pencil and you have a Gemara, right over here. Chasav, who wrote? The father. The father is writing to the chasen. Yeah, we have it today. There's a chasen, so we have minhagim. People buy nice gold watches. You gift the chasen. They're not married yet. So he wrote, I'm going to give you peiros. I'm going to give you a suit, kelim. Shivay ima, mebeis avia, lebeis bala. Okay, there's certain things that come in there. I heard, I think somebody once mentioned even Sfardim. Where's our Sfardim here today? Who's Tomer? Nobody Sfardi today. Not a single one. Mamish racist. If you're Sfardi, raise your hand. Anyway, so the Sfardim, they write in the Ksuba like Nedunya. What? Executive director is Sfardi. He's not even here. Okay, fine. So You write, they write things in the ksuba. I brought a table or this, like nedunya. Okay. She writes in the ksuba. It's a very unfortunate story. Right before the chasana, she dies. Lizacha habal b'dvarim halalu. So it's a very good child. The father is promising this, promising that. I'm going to buy a dira. I'm going to do this. And then the kala dies. So if she died 5 minutes after the chasana, it's too bad on the father. Okay, he was zayich and everything. But it's before the wedding. It's before the chuppah. It's after erusin. Don't forget, it's after erusin. It's a half a chasana. I saw the Rishonim discuss a crazy story where this guy was engaged and he saw that his kala is about to die. She's on her deathbed, and he ran and he did a chuppah just for one reason, to get her money. So the Rishonim talk about it. There's a whole nidan. If it counts, it doesn't count. If he's zayich in it, he had one thing in mind. That's it. I mean, this is the ultimate guy getting married for money. He's like, he saw that she's dying. She was barely alive, semi-conscious, and he married her. Okay. So we have a machlokes. Again, it's going to be totally in das, really. Was there a leiv shalom? Did the father give over all these nechasim that this chassan who he barely knows, he never met, he met him once at the Vart, he's giving him millions of dollars worth of stuff? If you married my daughter, okay, fine. But you're not even married, why should you get it now? They're only in Erusin. Says the Gemara, we have almost the same machlokes, but in the reverse. What if the chassan put in money before they got engaged? She gets the ksuba, everything in the ksuba. So let's say the ksuba says 200 zuz, because she's a psula, plus the apartment in Miami. So she gets everything, the whole thing, the 200 and the Tosefes ksuba, the extra, the added. Depends. If she's completely married, this is after chuppah, then she gets the apartment. But if they're only engaged, the erusin, all she gets out of the whole entire ksuba is the 200, the $1,500. The $2 million apartment in Miami, no way. Valmana, mana. Amud Beis, why? Says Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, and we're going to see we pass like Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Think about it. Why would this guy who just got engaged to this woman give her all these nechasim? He was going to give it to her if they're married. Okay, now you can't say, but you only married for 1 minute. 1 minute, it's enough. But not to give it to his kala. Sponsored by Moshe Horn in honor of Zach the Rocklin and Lenny Learner CPA, the zchus being able to support limit at Torah and to finish learning shots of the belly. Amen. Okay, so let's take the machlokes that we have by a woman, that the father put in the chasim into the marriage before they got married, before the final nisuin, just during erusin. If you hold that the chasim doesn't get that nedunya, it's the same thing as the kala, like Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah says, the kala doesn't get the chasim's apartment. Perhaps it's the same machlokes. What's the difference if the kala side puts in money or the chasim side puts in money? It's the same thing. Loi, says the Gemara, you can make an afkamina. In fact, we pass like Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. So everybody holds like Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. That what? That when it comes to the chasim putting in money, he only means and intends to give it to the kala if they actually get married. They follow through with the nisuin. He put it in today, because that's when they write the ksuba, but it only takes effect after the nisuin. That's great, we understand. Both, if the father of the kala put in money, the chassan doesn't get it if she dies, and if the chassan puts in money, the kala doesn't get it if the chassan dies. That goes like Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Great. So now the Gemara, maybe you could think about an afkamina yourself. What's the difference between a chassan giving money into the marriage and the father of the kala putting money in? So the Gemara is an afkamina. Because when the chassan does it, the kansa, he had one thing in mind, he was going to get married to her, he's having a long life with her, great. It never happened. It never worked out. So therefore, he never had intent to give it. You can hear this svara. A father, right? Your daughter, married or not married yet? Will be married. So you give the chassan gifts now. Are you making cheshbonis that, I don't know, I gave my son-in-law gifts. I don't think I was thinking so much about that. You wanna like him, you want him to be part of the family, geschmack. You're almost giving it to him now. Yeah, you have this thought, this perverted thought. What if they break up? Okay, fine. But now I'm giving gifts, I want him to be my friend. It's not like a chassan giving a kala an apartment in Miami. He doesn't want her to be his friend. He's thinking about the future. We're going to live together, so here's stuff. This is after the chassan, where there's a father-in-law, not the kala putting into their marriage. The father-in-law towards the chassan. What's his relationship with the chassan? Why is he giving him stuff? He wants to be his friend now. And Memela, he's going to give it to him now, and therefore he gets to keep it. I feel Rebbe Elazar and Zchariah, maybe, it's this relationship that they have. Fine. But it's nothing to do with the Yerusha, the Gemara says, that a chassan has for his kala. This is a relationship between a father-in-law and a son-in-law. I see you're scared to say something. You might hear about it later or whatever. Yeah, of course, I want to give him now. Okay. All right. Chaim is going to say. Says in the Mishnah that the husband, the Baal, is Chaim Mizonos. Yeah? Torah Baron, Tiknu Mizonos, Tachas Masu Yodel. Why did they institute that a father has to give his daughter Mizonos? Because he gets her Masu Yodai. Ukfurasa, yeah? Aren't we talking about a husband there? Husband. Okay, good. Whew. Somebody blurted out father. It's okay, keeping me on my toes there. This is interesting. That the kfura, why does he have to bury her? Because, now, the way I read it the first time is because he gets to keep her ksuba. Now, the question I had, right, when I read it is, he doesn't keep her ksuba, he already has her ksuba. A ksuba is like an insurance policy. If he dies or divorces her, he has to give her $10,000. And if she dies before him, he gets $10,000? No, he just doesn't have to give it to her. So why is that anything? So Tosfos points out, he says, it's not the ksuba, it's the nedunya, which is also problematic because we learned that you don't get the nedunya. But he says, Pirush nedunyasa. Okay, it's not the Daru saying Lakfura, fine. It's the added part of the ksuba that he's happy that he doesn't have obligations to, that if it's hers, he doesn't have obligation to it, whatever, there's some sort of anah here. Lefichach Baal Oichel Peiros. Says the Gemara, Peiros man nekar shemayu. We didn't mention anything about Peiros, and he's saying that's why he eats Peiros. Says the Gemara, Chasuri Mechser, Vachikatani. Tiknum in Zayde Tachas Ma'asideh. Here's a chart. The reason why the husband gets her salary is because he feeds her. The reason why he gets her peiros, the produce, is because if she's captured, if she's kidnapped, he has to redeem her. Those are the two things. Tiknum Zayde Tachas Ma'asideh. Uperkoina, the ransom Tachas Peiros, he has to redeem her because he gets peiros. So now you know where the peiros coming in. This uper koina tachas peiros. That's what we just added, which we didn't have before. The ransom is instead of the peiros that he eats during their life together. Ukfurasa tachas ksubasa. And the third thing is he has to bury her because now he doesn't have to give her a ksuba. Lefichach ba'aloichev peiros. Now that we have to understand. We just said he gets peiros because he has to redeem her, and then it says lefichach ba'al oichel peiros. It says Gemara, my lefichach. You already explained why he gets peiros. So why are you repeating yourself? Maybe you should take these peiros. See, take the basket of fruit, whatever it is, the cash that you get from the nursing home and put it in an escrow. Put it on the side. Dimkain, and if there's ever a situation where she needs to be redeemed, you'll have cash. Dimkain, mimna v'lo parik. Because if you don't put it on the side, he's not going to have the money. He's constantly abusing the nursing home. He constantly takes the money and he spends it and he buys fancy cars and stuff. And then when the day comes when you need ransom, garnished. He doesn't have anything. I don't have. So take the whole point is that you should be able to redeem her. So take all the payers that she came in with a field, she came in with something geschmack in her to the chasana. Take that money and put it on the side. Says the Gemara, we like this arrangement is better. That you should constantly eat. And when you constantly eat the payros, what happens? You don't count. You don't know what you're eating. You just take and take and take and take. And then it could be that you only ate $100,000 worth of fruit and they're demanding $1 million ransom. Then it'll come out of pocket. Why? Because he benefited from her. He has hakar satoif to his wife. She comes in with a nursing home. He sat there like a king. He took pay. Okay, later on he had to pay a $5 million ransom. He doesn't start making cheshbonos. I only ate $4.5 million worth of a nursing home and now it's $5 million. It's not fair. I'm not going to do it. He has hakar satoif. He does it. But if you put it on the side and you say, okay, here's the $4.5 million for the ransom, but the ransom is really $5 million, he's going to say, why should I come out of pocket? I never gained anything from this woman. Says the Gemara, here, take a look at the chart. Here's the Ve'epoch. I don't have Benny, so you guys can go, ooh. Oh. Maybe the Maisi Yodayim is because he has to redeem her, and maybe the Peiros is because he gives her mizainas. He supports her. He sustains her. So Mamela, he gets peiros. But the Maisi Yadayim, the salary that she makes as a lawyer, has nothing to do with mizainas. It has everything to do with redeeming her. Who told you what goes for what? What's the nafkamina? So Rashi says, beautiful. You could just read it like this. Okay, maybe it's the fakir, but Rashi says it's a big nafkamina. What goes for what? Because there's a concept of eini nizainas ve'eini yaisa. I'm a child actress. I make $20 million a year. You think I need your pizza that you give me once a week? $2? Moichel Toivus. I'm going to keep my salary and you keep your stale bread. You can make a deal. So that's good. What? So Mamela, that's if it's Maisi Yadayim. If Mizainis and Maisi Yadayim line up, you could say such a thing. But you can never say, don't redeem me and don't take my salary. You can't do that. Somebody's going to need to redeem you one day. So Mamela, the Maisi Yadayim always goes to the husband. It's a big nafkamina, says Rashi. Zog the Gemara, Omar Abaya, Veibachana Omar Abaya, Tiknu Matzi l'Matzi, V'sheni Matzi l'Sheni Matzi. What's the most popular thing? People make money, they have salaries, and they eat. Those are the two most common things. So you put those two things across from each other. Getting captured and ransom is a very rare thing, and so is coming into a marriage with a nursing home. How many people do you know came into a marriage with a nursing home? I don't know anybody. Zero. Maybe, okay, now I know a couple of people. But back when I got married, I didn't know anybody like that. No, seriously, who comes in with fields and money and producing income things? No, please. If it happens, it's very rare. And Mamela, you take the rear and you put them together, the capturing and the nursing homes go together, the mizainas and the Maisi Yadayim go together. Omar Rava. How many women have a job? A lot of women have jobs and they get married. Omar Rava. Okay, another very simple sugya. It's just easy stuff here, and we're almost done. Rava says that this Tana holds Mizanis Deraisa, and he's going to bring 3 Tanaim that the father, the husband, gives his wife Mizanis, is 3 Tanaim that says Deraisa. We don't really have anybody that says the Rabbanans yet. Let's see. Very simple stuff. Hi Tana, some Mizanis Deraisa, the Sanya, She'era. We know the pasuk. She'era, Ksusa, Vaynasa, Lo Yigra. A husband has to give his wife 3 things. She'era, Vaynasa, Ksusa v'inasa. What does she'era mean? What does ksusa? What does inasa mean? She'era elu mizaynas. We have machlokes what she'era means and what inasa means. The middle one is not a shayla. Okay, so it says mefurish in the pasuk here. Man that says you have to support your wife, you have to give her food Here, it says she'era lo yigra. You have to give her food. Great. These terrible people that were in charge of Klal Yisrael, they were eating up the nation, eating them up. They're eating up their salaries, eating their meat. Okay. Ksusa, what does ksus mean? Kimashmai, clothing. You have to give her clothing. Oinasa, zuoina amur b'Torah. Relations. Every person, depending on his job, different times, different periods. V'cheinu oimer, imta'anes b'noisai. Lavan told Yaakov, don't have my daughter suffering, meaning don't withhold relations. Okay. Rebbe Elazar oimer, she'era zuoina. No fakir. She'era means oina, relations. V'cheinu oimer, ish is called she'er b'sara. You see, it's a lotion of erva, of bia, of tashmish. So, like tigr v'legali, sir. Ksusa, kimashmoy. So over here, there's no machlokes. Everybody holds ksusa is clothing. Oinasa, what you thought oina means. Oina, no, elam is oinas. So here we have another mandama that says that you're obligated midoraisa to give your wife mizoinas. You're gonna afflict her and him, and you're gonna starve him. Which was when? When did we read it? This week. Ekev, very good. When did we read Ekev? This Shabbos. We're still within 2 days of the parasha. The Rabbi Yankele Galinsky said that imagine if a guy has a frak, he's a chashav, a yid, a long beard. He gets up in the morning, goes outside, and he finds his mun. His mun is right there. He's chashav. Next morning he gets up, it's not there. So he starts walking around. He's looking for his mun. He keeps on going and going. He has to go through different neighborhoods. He finally gets to this neighborhood of all these, not the most kishma, not the frak people, the guys with the short jacket people and the down hats, those guys, the bums. And over there he finds his mun. And they're saying, Shiva, what are you doing here? What, you spoke Lashon Hara? What happened? Yeah. He said one word of Lashon Hara, finished. He doesn't. Then he comes home, and he realizes he can't do anything with the mun. Yesterday, it was gishma. You took the mun, you ate it. Today, it's not edible. So now he has to look for a grinder. So he starts going again. And people, what's going on here? Why is the Shiva looking for a grinder? He spoke to Lashon Hara, and so she became a shegitz. And finally, he tells his wife, I don't want to eat anymore. I have such bushas. Wherever I go, people chap that I'm a balavera. The frak doesn't pass anymore. The langer, whatever it is, the chashav begodim that the rabbanim wear, doesn't pass. So vayarivecha, starve myself. It's not kedai. V'cheinu oimer v'yancha vayarivecha. Rav Elazar Yaakov oimer sheira ksusa lepum sheira ten ksusa. We can really stop here, but why start shachris on time if you don't have to? Sheira ksusa. Lepum she'era, ten ksusa. Based on how she is, if she's an older woman, shleitin la, lo shel yalda l'skena, lo shel skena l'yalda. A younger woman would wear like a really heavy, like a wedding dress. You can imagine, I don't know how much those things weigh, but I once had to schlep my wife's, very heavy. But an old woman can't wear such a thing, it'll knock her out. So, based on her age, you have to give her the weight of the dress. Basically, okay, in our terms, it's more like a style. Yeah, there's a bubby style and then there's a young girl style. It depends who you're marrying. You can't give a 60-year-old a dress that a 18-year-old wears. Ksusa v'inasa, l'pumaynasa, ten ksusa. Ayin over here is referring to the season of the year. So you have to give her warm clothing in the winter and cooler clothing in the summer. Don't give her brand new clothing. In other words, in those days when they didn't make it thinner or thicker, it was older and newer. That's how it became thinner by the amount of times they wore it. So you give her the thick clothes in the don't give her the thick clothes in the summer, and not the worn out in the winter where she needs thick. Have a wonderful day.